we know the projected next court date?
Now it is going to be, April 4th.
April what?
April 4th at 8:30, and you'll get a copy of the. All right.
Let's have a seat. Which one? Chapman. Okay, is it already at the top? Okay. All right, good morning. I'm Commissioner Procco. This is the 8 a.m. initial appearance calendar for March 29, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples by the Sheriff's Office that were made on the 2 a.m. calendar on the first day of this month will apply to all matters on this calendar as well. All right, when you hear your name, please step up to the podium that's in the center of the courtroom in here. And at the end of your hearing today, we are going to be providing you with some paperwork. That's going to go over everything we cover in here. So that'll include your next court dates as well as all of your release conditions. For those of you who will be out of custody prior to your next court date, I do recommend contacting the court in advance of that date so you can verify your hearing details. You can also check to see if there are other ways of appearing, since some of the courts are still allowing for virtual appearances for some hearing types. Please keep in mind you do have the right to remain silent. Everything you say in the courtroom is being recorded, both audio and video, and could be used in a future court proceeding. We're going to begin today with Nathaniel Chapman.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Deputy, do you want me to wheel him over? Or? Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chapman, if you want to go ahead and come over, and we can lower the podium too, if that makes it easier.
That's, right here's fine. We're fine, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Chapman, I'm going to start with you, sir. If you could state your full name and your date of birth.
My name is Nathaniel Wayne Chapman. My birthday is 07/30/1982.
All right, thank you, sir. And Mr. Zein?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Michael Zeiton appearing this morning with Mr. Chapman, who's present in custody.
All right, thank you. All right, so Mr. Chapman, you are here for a warrant that was issued for a violation of probation. There was a petition to revoke in your matter that alleges a violation of terms 0, 1, and 16. 0 is the interstate compact term, okay? So at this time, this is a non-bailable warrant because it is an interstate compact PTR. So you do have a revocation arraignment hearing set on April 4 at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. With respect to representation, Mr. Zeiton, are you doing representation from here forward?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me go ahead and switch this then so I have you in here. All right, so we did just get that changed. So because, like I said, because it is an interstate compact, this is a non-bailable warrant, but I'll let you go ahead and address that if there's something you...
No, I appreciate it, Judge. Understanding that my client's been advised of Arizona law as well, but I do submit to ask the court to exercise its discretion. This is the Superior Court in Maricopa County. My client has 2 meniscus tears at his ACL and both knees that he's reporting to me. It's been verified by an MRI. Judge, we would ask for the court to exercise its discretion and allow for release with a nominal release condition so he can get proper medical attention and rehabilitation pending this probation violation.
All right. All right, Mr. Chapman, I do understand your attorney's request here. I know it's frustrating to come in with any medical issues outstanding when you come into the jail, but unfortunately, because it's an interstate compact, it's not something that's going to change, at least not at this level, at the initial appearance level. So I am going to be affirming the no release and the bond at this time. At this point, you will be moving over to the probation violation court. They will be addressing all further issues in your case, including any changes to release if they are going to make any changes to it. There is correctional health in here. I don't know how much it's going to help you, though, under these circumstances, given that it's a torn meniscus. But I would certainly inform them when you go through intake of any medical issues you have, any medications you've been prescribed, so that they are aware of anything that does need to be addressed in the immediate future here for you. But unfortunately, you do have to stay in custody at this time.
Thank you. Thank you. Your Honor, any discretion on the court as to the housing and
I don't have any. No, not
Okay.
here. I don't. So the housing is going to be totally up to the jail. But that is why I would make sure his medical situation is made clear during the intake process, because that can sometimes impact it.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Can I have just 2 minutes with him? Judge, thank you.
Thank you.
They're going to
All
move
right,
you
so we've
back.
got Mr. Pine and John Hill Williams will be up after that. Yeah, Mr. Pine, Brandon Pine.
Fine.
Hi, Mr. Pine. Go and state your full name and date of birth.
Good morning, 7/24/91, Brandon William Pine.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've got 2 separate cases here today. I'm going to start with a new matter that just came in, and this is going to be for a new case out of Superior Court. This is alleging 1 count of burglary in the 3rd degree, which is a Class 4 felony. 1 count of resisting arrest is a passive resistance. That's a Class 1 misdemeanor. The date of offense here for both of these is yesterday, March 28th. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. You currently have a status conference set April 3rd with the preliminary hearing April 7th, both at 8:30. And that's going to be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. So in this first matter here, your new charge that just came in, I'm going to do a placeholder bond of $50. That's a cash-only appearance bond. That's being put in place because you're going to have a hold here for your probation matter. That is also on the calendar that we're about to address. But if you do end up getting released from custody, you're also going to be ordered not to return to the scene of the offense, not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, witness. You are not to possess any weapons, and since you are still on probation, you do need to contact probation within 72 hours.
Okay.
Your next case we have, like I said, is your probation matter. The reason it's here today is for a Term 1 violation. So in that matter, Public Defender has been appointed as well. You have a revocation arraignment hearing April 4 at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. And in this matter, you are being held without bond at this time, since you do have the same charge that you just came in on that you were already on probation for. So that is pursuant to Rule 7.2 of the Arizona Rules of Criminal Procedure. So you are going to get that information here in just a moment. But do you have any questions regarding either case I've just gone over
This is
here?
what I'm asking. So could I still be bonded out on the $50?
No. So even if you post that $50, you're not going to get released. You have a probation hold, okay? So that's going to hold you in custody. So the reason I put the $50 in place, that minimal bond, was so that they know you're in custody in both matters, okay? That does impact whether you get transported to court, because they'll transport you to court if they know you're in custody. That also could impact your credit for time served down the road if that becomes an issue for you, okay? So that's the reason for the $50 bond, and it wouldn't change your overall release situation unless that no bond hold on your probation matter goes away.
How will I know if that goes away?
They'll let you know, because it's going to be in your paperwork here. You're going to be able to see what holds you have. You're also going to be going to a court hearing in that matter on April 4th. You'll be able to know what's going to happen moving forward in that case at that time. Today is the 29th. It's March 29th. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Do you want to step over? We'll get you paperwork for both matters there.
Do you think I'll have another chance to fix everything in my life?
That's certainly something you can speak with your attorney about and work with probation for. As far as what's going to happen in this case, I don't know. This is all going to be handled down the road.
So there's nothing to be bonded out about?
No, you have no opportunity for bond at this point. All right?
You know, they should have gave me a chance the way I've been getting harassed by the police and everything.
Yeah, looks like you've been given several chances.
I know, I have.
At this point, you can go ahead and step over to your left.
I was going to say, yes, I have been given given multiple choices.
Your hearing's completed.
I was trying to talk to you.
Step over to your
I was
left,
trying to
please.
explain something to you. You
All right, so we've got Jahil Williams. After that, Roland Willingham. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Jahil Williams, 9/26/83.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a new case out of the Maricopa County Superior Court. The charge here is going to be 2 counts of theft of a means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, 1 count of robbery, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 4 felony as well. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you here. You do have a status conference set on April 3rd with a preliminary hearing April 7th, both at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. In your matter, I did receive a written recommendation from the state recommending a $75,000 cash-only appearance bond based on a review of your history as well as the nature of the charge that you're here for now. You do have a bond in this matter. I didn't go quite that high, but you do have a $50,000 secured appearance bond. You're also going to be ordered not to return to the scene of the offense. You cannot go back to that previous residence where you were staying with the alleged victim. You are not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness in this matter. You're not to possess any weapons while on release, since you do have prior felony offenses. Do you have any questions regarding any of that information that I've just reviewed here?
No.
All right, sir, if you want to step over, you can pick up that paperwork so you can have a seat. All right, so we do have Roland Willingham and Jesus Lugo is going to be up next.
Hello, Judge.
All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
My name is Roland Urban Willingham, 6/17/86.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a warrant issued out of the Youngtown Municipal Court. That's in their case number TR 2022-21. So in this matter, they've set an arraignment hearing for you on April 3rd at 9 a.m. That'll be at the Youngtown Municipal Court. You'll get the address in your paperwork.
Okay.
The judge in your case actually put in your warrant specifically that this is now your third failure to appear warrant. So at this point, you do have a bond. The bond in your warrant's been affirmed. It's $2,470. That is a secured appearance bond.
What does that mean, secured appearance?
That means you are able to work with a bail bonding company in order to post that. So it's different than a cash-only appearance bond where you do have to post that full amount. As far as what you can work out with those companies, you'd have to contact them directly. You can often do a percentage with security with them in order to cover the amount.
And there's no way around the bond thing?
Yeah, at this point, since they made a very special effort to point out how many failures to appear you have there, no, at this point, that is going to be their discretion as to whether anything changes with your release.
Okay.
Okay? All right, if you want to step over, you want to pick up that paperwork. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so we have Jesus Lugo and Felicia James up after that. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Jesus Lugo, August 18, 1999.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. It is alleging 1 count of organized retail theft. That's a Class 4 felony. 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, Class 4 felony. Those are the counts I was able to find probable cause on here today. There is an additional count here of possession of drug paraphernalia. That's a Class 6 felony. I did not find probable cause on that 1 count, which doesn't necessarily mean it's going away, but I was not given enough information to proceed here today. So the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. You do currently have a status conference set April 3rd at 8:30 with a preliminary hearing April 7th, also at 8:30 a.m. The address for the court will be included in your paperwork here. So in this case, you do have a bond based on a review of your history, as well as your other open misdemeanors that you have here. You do have a $1,500 secured appearance bond. Your orders include the orders that you not return to the scene of the offense, not have any contact with any alleged complainant or witness in your case. Any questions regarding anything that I just went through?
No, will I get released?
So you have a bond that you would have to post. You have a $1,500 secured appearance bond. If you are able to post those bonds, then you would be eligible for release in this matter. Looks like you might have some other open cases that might have issues that you need to be taken care of. So those are completely separate, okay? So if you do have any warrants that were issued out of your Glendale or Phoenix cases, those are going to go in front of those judges, okay?
Okay.
But at least in this case, you would have the $1,500 to post.
So I'm going to jail?
If you're unable to post it, you would remain in custody and be transported to your next court date. All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat. All right, so we have Felicia James, Geneva Richards will be up next.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, sir. Hi, ma'am. Your full name and date of birth?
Felicia James, and 9/14/76.
All right, thank you. So you are here for your open case here. It looks like you were brought in by your bonding company. So you're actually on the calendar twice because you were brought in by the bonding company on a bond surrender. You also had a warrant issued in your case for the bench warrant that was issued the other day. So the only one that I'm going to be addressing here today is the bond surrender. So in that matter, you do have a arraignment hearing now set on April 4 at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, you do have that $1,800 bond that you previously posted. That has basically been reinstated. So you're kind of back to square one. in terms of your bond situation. So you would need to post that amount once again in order to be released in this matter. Now, I just did a no action on the other matter, on your warrant, since I don't need to double up on you for any reason. So we're just going to address this through the bond surrender, okay? Which does mean you can talk to your attorney about that, but that'll take care of the warrant, okay? Do you have any questions regarding that?
When do I get out?
If you're able to post a bond, then you would be eligible for release in this matter. If you're unable to post a bond, then you would remain in custody. You'll be transported to your next court date, which is currently on April 4th.
Thank you.
All right, do you want to go and step over? You can pick up that paperwork over there to your left. All right, so Geneva Richards and Patrick Elkins will be up after that. Hi, Ms. Richards. If you can state your full name and date of birth.
I'm Geneva Mara Richards, 181.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So you are here for two separate cases. Both of these are your probation matters. Warrants were issued in both of them for a petition to revoke filed back in February. It alleges a violation of terms 3 and 5 of your probation term. So in this case, you do have the public defender's office appointed in both of them. A revocation arraignment hearing set April 4 at 8:30. That will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. And in each matter, the bond in your warrant's been affirmed. The first one's a $2,500 secured appearance bond. Second is $250. So it's $2,750 for both of them. So in this matter, if you do end up posting bond and do get released from custody, you're still on supervised probation. You do still need to abide by all terms. That does include contacting probation within 72 hours. Do you have any questions regarding that?
They said something about 2019.
I'm sorry?
They said a warrant was out for me for 2019.
One of your case numbers is a CR number from 2019. The other one is from 2024.
What is it for? I don't understand.
I'll tell you what your charges were. So you've already been sentenced in both of these matters. You were sentenced to probation in both of these cases. You've already been reinstated 4 times for your 2019 matter. So I know you've been to court multiple times for it. So in your 2019 matter, the original charge was possession of dangerous drugs, a class 4 felony.
Okay, so why would they set a warrant out for my arrest?
Because you did not comply with probation. So when you don't comply with probation, they issue a petition to revoke your probation. And that's the proceedings that you'll be pending now. You've already gone through this 4 times, so I know you already know the process, so it's going to be the same thing. You've got a petition to revoke.
Okay, so they're going to revoke it, basically.
That is completely up to the probation court. It's not anything that I addressed here today. I'm only seeing you on the warrants that were issued. At this point, you'll go to your revocation arraignment hearing.
I understand.
Okay. Do you want to go and step over? Thank you, ma'am. All right. Before we have our next matter come in, I do have a warrant that I need to address here. I actually have 2 warrants. It'll be just a moment. All right, thank you everybody for waiting. It looks like we are up to Patrick Elkins, and after that it'll be Douglas Long.
Hello.
All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Patrick Seneca Elkins, 6/23/79.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've got 3 separate cases here on the calendar today. All 3 of these are going to be your probation violation warrants that were issued. In each of your probation matters, there was a petition to revoke filed. It alleges a violation of terms 3, 5, and 15 of your probation term. So the public defender's been appointed. What are those terms? Mostly those are absconder terms, failing to report, failing to check in with them. I'll let you know what you have for the other ones, though. You have failing to report within 72 hours of release from a residential treatment, not residing at the residence, approved, whereabouts unknown since January 16, and you did not complete whatever program you were required to complete as part of probation. So as far as the specific allegations go, you'll get the petition to revoke at your next court date. You can go over those with your attorney too, okay? But generally speaking, those are the allegations at this time. So you've got a revocation arraignment hearing April 4 at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. If I didn't already say it, the public defender has been appointed in all 3 matters, and the bonds in your warrant have been affirmed. The first 2 each have $100 secured appearance bonds. The last one, your third one, has a $500 secured appearance bond, so it's $700 total for all 3. So if you do post bond and are released from custody, you are still on supervised probation. You do still need to abide by those terms. That does include contacting probation within 72 hours. Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, sir, if you want to go ahead and step over, you want to pick up that paperwork over there. All right, so we have Douglas Long, and then Excalibur Thomas will be up after that. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Douglas Long, 5195.
All right, thank you. So it looks like you are here for 2 matters. I know you're already in custody on another 3, it looks like. So this was, looks like an additional 2 warrants that were located. These are out of the University Lakes Justice Court. So in each of these matters now, you have a arraignment hearing set on April 2nd at 8:30. That'll be at the University Lakes Justice Court. The bonds in each warrant has been affirmed, so each has a $100 secured appearance bond. So that would still be in addition, though, to whatever other bonds you have in those other cases, and I'm not sure what those are at this time.
Okay.
So in this matter, because I did set the bonds in this case, I did appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you for that issue as required by Rule 6.1. Do you have any questions regarding these 2?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got Ms. Thomas and Ulysses Sanchez. They'll be up after that. All right, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Excalibur Thomas, 7/20/97.
All right, thank you. So you've got 2 separate cases here today. I'll go ahead and start with the new matter that just came in. This is going to be for a new case out of Superior Court. It is alleging 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, which is a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. So the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. We have a status conference set April 3rd with a preliminary hearing April 7, both at 8:30. Those are going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, based on a review of your history, as well as the fact you're currently on probation and not in compliance, you do have a bond. Your first one's a $500 secured appearance bond. Now, your next case you have here is going to be that probation matter. The reason it's on the calendar here today, at least, is for a Term 1 violation. So the public defender's been appointed there as well. Revocation arraignment hearing April 4 at 8:30. And in that matter, you also have a $500 secured appearance bond. So it's $1,000 total for both. If you do post bond and are released from custody, you're also still on supervised probation. So you do still need to contact probation within 72 hours of your release from any facility. Any questions regarding any of that information?
No.
All right, ma'am, if you want to go and step over, you want to pick up that paperwork over there. All right, so we've got Mr. Sanchez, and then Andrew Delgado will be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Ulysses Sanchez, April 4th, 1980.
Thank you, sir. So you've got 2 separate cases here today. Both of yours are probation matters. You've got petitions to revoke filed in each of your probation cases alleging a violation of terms 3, 5, and 15 of your probation term. So the public defender's been appointed. You've got a revocation arraignment hearing April 4 at 8:30. And then in each of these matters, the bond and the warrant's been affirmed. You each have a $250 secured appearance bond. It's $500 total for both. If you do postpone and are released from custody, since you're on IPS for your level of supervision, you do need to contact probation within 24 hours rather than the standard 72.
Okay.
All right, any questions about that? All right, thank you, sir. All right, so we have Andrew Delgado and Nicholas Guler will be up next.
Delgado.
All right, and if we don't have Mr. Delgado ready, we can move on to Nicholas Guler just to keep it moving. Hi, Mr. Delgado, if you could step up to the podium, sir. And once you're up there, state your full name and date of birth.
2172,
And your full name.
Andrew Delgado.
Thank you, sir. You were here for a probation violation warrant that was issued. It's because a petition to revoke was filed back in January, alleging a violation of terms 6, 7, 11, 12, 14, and 15 of your probation terms. So the public defender has been appointed to represent you. You have a revocation arraignment hearing set April 4 at 8:30. And then in this matter, the bond in your warrant's been affirmed. This one's a $750 secured appearance bond. If you do postpone and you are released from custody, you're also still on supervised probation. You do still need to abide by all terms. That does include contacting probation within 72 hours of your release. All of this information I just provided you is going to be provided in your paperwork here that you'll receive in just a moment. But do you have any questions regarding it?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. If you want to go ahead and step over to your left there, you can go and pick up that paperwork so you can have a seat. All right, so we're ready for Nicholas Guler and Chantel Carborn will be up next. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Nicholas Schooler, 2/17/1999.
All right, sir. You are here for a bench warrant that was issued. It is for a failure to appear in CR 2024-14045-4. So in this matter, you now have a non-witness violation hearing set on April 4 at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix, and the bond in your warrant's been affirmed. That's a $500 secured appearance bond. And in this matter, if you do postpone and are released, since you're still on supervised probation, you do need to contact probation within 72 hours. Any questions about that? All right, thank you, sir. All right, so we've got Ms. Carbon and Brent Naher will be up next.
Hello.
All right, ma'am, go ahead and state your full name and date of birth.
Chantel Carbone, 11/24/84.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a bench warrant that was for a failure to appear in your probation case. So in this matter, they now have a non-witness violation hearing set on April 4 at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in that warrant's been affirmed. That's a $500 secured appearance bond. So same thing, you still need to contact probation within 72 hours if you are released from custody.
Right, there's no way I can be released today. The only reason why I didn't show up, and I've been in contact with my attorney, but my mom had breast cancer and she had surgery that day. And I've been in contact with her. We just haven't set up another date.
All right, I will look to see if your attorney notified the court to let them know what happened here. I don't see anything in your probation notes, though, so it looks like you have not been complying with probation still. It looks like you didn't contact probation at all.
I'm supposed to be just reinstated for probation, that's all.
No, you haven't been reinstated. You're still in violation status. Yeah, it looks like your attorney never notified the court either, so I'm unable to verify any of that, so unfortunately you do have a bond here today.
Okay, what is it?
What is your bond?
How much is the bond?
Your bond is a $500 secured appearance bond.
Okay.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thanks. All right, so we have Brent Naher, and then Nicole Jones is going to be up after that. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Brent Neer, 42593.
Thank you, sir. You were here for a bench warrant that was issued for a failure to appear in CR 2024-001351. So in this matter, you now have a status conference set April 3rd with a preliminary hearing April 7th, both at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in that warrant's been affirmed. That's a $500 secured appearance bond. Looks like you might also have a City of Phoenix case. If that is true, that's a completely separate case. You're going to have to go in front of that judge. That would be an additional bond if they set one there, okay? Do you have any questions there regarding this matter? All right, no. If you want to go and step over, you can go ahead and pick up that paperwork there. All right, so we have Nicole Jones and then Christopher Wilburn is going to be up next. Hi, ma'am. Your full name and date of birth?
My name is Nicole Ann Jones. Date of birth is 9/21/1978. 1978.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a new case out of the El Centro Justice Court. So that is for one count of assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. You do have an arraignment hearing set on April 2nd at 8:30. That would be at the El Centro Justice Court. Based on the nature of the offense that you have here, since this is considered domestic violence offense in nature, you do have a $500 secured appearance bond that you would have to post for release. But if you do post bond and are released from custody, you're also going to have orders here that you are not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness in this matter, which does mean you would have to find an alternate residence if you were previously residing together and according to the Form 4 you were. So, and I do have to warn you as well that a violation of a no victim contact order and a criminal release order could constitute aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. So if you do need to return to the home in person, the only way you can do that without being in violation of those release conditions is to do it through a civil standby. That's done by contacting local law enforcement and scheduling it through them, and that's in order to obtain any necessary personal items you have there. All right, any questions regarding any of that?
No.
All right, ma'am, if you want to go and step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork. Thank you. All right, we have Christopher Wilburn and Brandon Gildersleeve will be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Christopher John Wilburn, June 10th, 1984.
All right, thank you, sir. I know you're already in custody on another matter. The reason we brought you in here today is they did do a warrant for a direct complaint that's been filed. I think they just recently did it. So that direct complaint alleges one count of possession of dangerous drugs, Class 4 felony, with the offense date of March 18 of 2025. So the public defender has been appointed. You do have a status conference set April 3rd at 8:30 with a preliminary hearing April 7 at 8:30. And it looks like you already had a $5,000 bond in place for your other matter, so I just did a placeholder bond here. So you've got a $50 cash appearance bond in this matter, okay? So that's so they know you're in custody in this case, so they can transport you to your court dates. It also could impact your credit for time served, because they'll know you're in custody to count for time.
Okay. So if I was to post the 5,000, I would have to post 5,000 and 50, or?
Right, yes, you'd have the 5,000 plus the 50.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got Mr. Gildersleeve and Fernando Cota will be up after that.
Morning. Brandon Gildersleeve, April 23rd, 1999.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a justice court warrant. This is for a warrant issued out of the Santan Justice Court. And I think this was just issued because you were in custody. I know you've been in custody for a while. But it looks like you are still going to be in custody. I think it said through May 29, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to set a placeholder bond in your case. You've got a $50 bond here, okay? So that's so they know you're in custody this time. Otherwise, if I release you, they're going to have the hearing again. They're going to do another warrant again. You're going to be brought right back in here again, okay? So that way they know you're in custody this time. That'll get you an arraignment hearing April 2nd at 8:30. That'll be at the Santan Justice Court, okay? Do you have any questions regarding that? Does that make sense?
Yes. Can I ask do you know what that case is or involves, or what it's about?
It's a criminal damage case. It has an offense date of February 13th.
Okay.
So it's a misdemeanor matter.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Not cool, but I appreciate you. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. All right, so we have Mr. Cota and then Greg Bartlett's going to be up next.
Your Honor, the gentleman is coming up. He had 75 days. He's sentenced to start.
Okay, that was going to be my question for him when he came in, because I couldn't tell why he was a page 2. So that's why I was calling him first out of these, so. All right, Mr. Cota.
I'm not sure if he gets the warrant will take him to court.
He will not be. No, I'm going to go ahead and switch him to basically the same thing I just did.
Thank you. Mr. Cota. Cota? Are you Cota? Cota.
we have Mr. Cota?
Coming right out, yeah.
All right. All right, so I just signed that one again. All right, Mr. Cota, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Fernando Lopez Cota, 10/18/88.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a warrant issued out of the Pioneer Justice Court, so it's a Pinal County warrant. So in this matter, they set an arraignment hearing for you on April 2nd at 8:30 at the Pioneer Justice Court. From what I just heard, you are currently in custody for another matter. Looks like you are still serving a term in custody. So what I'm going to do here is do a $50 cash appearance bond. That way they know you're in custody in this case, so it's really considered a placeholder bond. So they don't just issue another warrant when you don't show up at your court date, okay? Even though I gave you that court date of April 2nd, that's likely to move because you're in custody, so they're not going to transport you out there to attend that court date quite yet, okay?
There's no way you can push it back, maybe?
I can't change their date.
I
don't have the ability to.
The Pioneer Court, man, I just paid the bond, another bond, you know what I mean? Like, I just recently, I was out on bond for this one and that one. So, like, I don't know how I got issued another bond, like these, I don't know, it's a small little independent court over there.
It's a justice court, it's
And
a misdemeanor court.
It's just, it's really...
Yeah, it looks like this one was issued like 3/15 or something like that. So it might have been issued while you're in custody, which is again why I'm going to put a placeholder bond on you. That way they don't just issue another warrant. Because if you're in custody when your hearing comes and you can't show up, then they just issue a warrant not realizing you're in custody if I don't put a bond on you.
Yeah, $50 is fine.
So yep, so you've got that $50 bond for this one, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, so we have Greg Bartlett, and then Daryl McGee will be up next.
Hello, Your Honor.
Mr. Bartlett, if you could state your full name and date of birth, sir.
It's Greg Bartlett, 10/24/84.
All right, thank you. You are here for a new case. This is going to be out of the Kyrene Justice Court. The charges are 2 counts of DUI, both Class 1 misdemeanors. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You have an arraignment hearing set on April 16 at 9:30. That'll be at the Kyrene Justice Court. In this case, at this time, at least you are being released on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear at that next court date.
I will appear.
You have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, sir, if you want to go and step over, it'll be in your paperwork as well.
I do have two, and they're just very basic preliminary. So it's like, so I got sideswiped on the freeway, and
As far as the questions about your case go, talk to your attorney about those.
Okay, well, I guess I should just say, how did they give me 2 DUIs when there were no drugs or alcohol?
That's a question for your attorney.
Okay.
I'll let you know I did find probable cause based on the information that was submitted in the Form 4, but as far as that goes, that's a question for your attorney, okay?
Right, okay. All right, thank you.
All right, so we have Daryl McGee and Wesley Wagner will be up next. Hi, Mr. McGee, go ahead and state your full name and date of birth.
It's Daryl Emmy McGee, March 29, 1962.
Thank you, sir. So you've got 2 separate cases here today. I'm going to start with a new matter that just came in. This is going to be for a new case in Superior Court here in Maricopa County. The charges submitted are 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, both Class 4 felonies, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony. So the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You have a status conference set on April 14, preliminary hearing April 16, both at 8:30. Those are going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I know you're currently on supervised probation. That's your other case we have here, but I did take a look at your notes and it looks like you have had recent contact with probation. So it's for that reason only I'm going to be releasing you today, okay? So you are being released on your own recognizance, but you are still subject to the supervision of probation. So within 72 hours, you do need to contact probation and continue to comply with their terms, okay? So your probation case is on the calendar today for a Term 1 violation. So it's a new offense. That's what's triggered it, okay?
Just, when I get out, just call my probation and tell them it's okay.
Yeah, so they know you're in custody because they did your term 1 here, okay? So they're aware that you were taken into custody. So you now have a revocation arraignment hearing April 4 at 8:30, public defender appointed there, same release conditions. I'm releasing you on your own recognizance, subject to their supervision.
Okay.
Okay, so just keep in mind, I gave you 2 sets of court dates there. That probation case is the one coming up first on April 4th.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the one on, they'll tell me the next one when I go to court?
So it'll be in your paperwork.
Okay.
You can check to find out when the next one is. They'll be able to look it up for you if you don't have it anymore, but it'll be in your paperwork, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so we have Wesley Wagner and Brandon Ware up after that.
Hello, Judge.
All right, Mr. Wagner, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Wesley Allen Wagner, 12284.
Sir, you are here for a new case out of the University Lakes Justice Court. The single count submitted is 1 count of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, which is a Class 3 misdemeanor. You're not entitled to court-appointed counsel due to the nature of the charge, since it is a misdemeanor offense. It does not otherwise qualify, but you do have the right to retain an attorney to represent you. An arraignment hearing is set April 15th.
Thank you.
At 1:30 p.m., and in this matter, you are being released on your own recognizance with the additional orders that you not return to the scene of the offense, no contact with any complainant or witness there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, so we have Brandon Ware, and then after that, Eric Young. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Brandon Jacob Ware, April 30, 2003.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here on a new case out of the Buckeye Municipal Court. This is alleging 1 count of assault, 1 count of disorderly conduct. Those are both Class 1 misdemeanors. I don't show you qualify for court-appointed counsel based on the financial information submitted to the court. If you believe that is incorrect and based on your financial situation, you should qualify for court-appointed counsel. You can bring that up at the Buckeye Municipal Court. They're the ones that actually do the attorney assignment, okay? So you can bring that up at your arraignment hearing. It's on April 15 at 2 p.m. That'll be at the Buckeye Municipal Court. The address will be included in your paperwork. You do, of course, have the right to retain an attorney to represent you, okay? So in this matter, I did receive a victim impact statement, which was reviewed. The victim was requesting release in your case. Given that you don't have any other criminal history, I am going to do that here today. You are being released on your own recognizance, which is going to be your promise to appear. But based on the nature of the offense here, even in spite of what was in the victim impact statement, you're still going to have orders here that you not return to the scene of the offense, you not have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, so you can't return home. You need to find an alternate residence, at least until further court order. So if you need to return in person because you have personal items there that you do need to gather in person, you can only do that using a civil standby. That's done by contacting local law enforcement.
What about my daughter? I have a 6-month-old.
That lives at that residence?
Yeah, she lives with us. We all live together.
Okay. I don't believe
but
she wasn't part of this, but.
no, she wasn't part of it, but
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that you can have contact over the phone only regarding custody issues, but you still can't have any contact. So you guys are going to have to figure out a way around that, okay? All right, so let me go ahead and change your order here to reflect that you do share a child in common and that you can have contact with the victim via phone regarding child care purposes only. Okay? All right. If you want to go ahead and step over, we're going to have to reprint out your paperwork with that change.
thank you.
Okay, that's been signed. All right, and we've got Mr. Young up next. All right, Mr. Young, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Eric S. Young, 3/12/62.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a fugitive of justice warrant, an FOJ warrant. This was issued out of the state of Texas. They did confirm the warrant as well as extradition in your matter. Looks like this is a parole violation warrant that was issued out of that state. So did you have an opportunity to take a look at that laminated sheet? That's basically the waiver of extradition language if you choose to waive extradition here today, okay? So that's why we have you review that ahead of time. because you're going to have a choice to make whether or not you want to waive extradition today. I'm going to go over both of your options, and I'll see if you know how you want to proceed, okay? So the first choice you have is you can choose to waive extradition and return to the state of Texas in this matter. So when you make that option, you are basically saying, Texas, I'm ready to come back to take care of this warrant, come pick me up. Texas, in turn, would have 30 days starting tomorrow to come pick you up on that warrant. Now, that 30-day time frame starts tomorrow unless you have any local open cases. If you do have any local open cases, and I'm not aware of any, but if you do, the 30-day time frame would start after the conclusion of that case, okay? Now, you would remain in the Maricopa County Jail non-bailable until Texas does come to pick you up on the warrant within their allotted time frame, okay? That's if you choose to waive extradition. Your other option is you can choose not to waive extradition, at least not today. You actually have the same choice that would come up next at your next hearing if you choose to go this route. So if you choose not to waive extradition, I'd set a fugitive from justice or extradition hearing for you on April 7 at 1:30. That would be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I can't appoint an attorney to represent you at that hearing because the extradition proceedings are considered civil. Even though it's a criminal case back in Texas, the extradition case is civil. You do have the right to hire an attorney at your own expense if you're able to. Also note there are sometimes public defenders present there who can provide assistance. There's just no guarantee of that. So either way, because it is a parole warrant, you are non-bailable. So you're not going to get released no matter which direction you go. You don't have that option on the table. Now, if you choose not to waive extradition, the process there is that a governor's warrant has to be signed by the governors of both states, so both Texas and Arizona, in order to extradite you back to Texas. And that process can take up to 90 days. That's the time frame they have in order to execute that warrant. Do you have any questions regarding these two options that I've just gone over?
No.
All right. Do you know how you want to proceed today?
I think so, yes.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I will choose to waive extradition.
Okay, so you want to waive extradition, return to the state of Texas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I need to go over some questions. I need to have you answer out loud. Basically, what I need to do is determine that this is a knowing and voluntary waiver on your part, okay? All right, so did you read the waiver of extradition paperwork, which was that laminated sheet?
I did.
Do you understand that you do not have to sign the waiver of extradition here today?
Sure.
You understand that you have the right to demand an extradition hearing here in Maricopa County?
Sure.
You understand that you have the right to hire an attorney to represent you at that hearing?
Sure.
And you understand that you have the right to demand that a governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states before you're returned?
Sure.
And you understand that you have actually, you don't have the right to bail on this one, so I'm going to skip that. Do you want to give up those rights that I just went over in order to sign the waiver of paperwork here today?
I do.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything in order to get you to sign the paperwork?
No, ma'am.
Have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication within the last 24 hours?
No, ma'am.
All right, based on those responses, I do find that you are knowingly, intelligently, voluntarily signing the waiver. I'll be signing it as well, and I am directing the Sheriff's Office to notify Texas that you are ready to return at this time. Texas will have 30 days from tomorrow to pick you up unless there are local charges pending. If there are local charges pending, 30-day time frame will start at the conclusion of that case. So I'm going to have you come up here and sign in just a moment. Before you do, any other questions?
No.
No questions? Okay, so come on up here. We're going to have you sign up here. I just signed it on my end.
Sorry.
And she'll let you know as soon as to sign the thing.
One more signature.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Got it.
All right. Your partner?
sir, if you could state your full name and your date of birth.
Michael Thomas Chucala, March 3rd, 1984.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a new case out of the Maricopa County Superior Court. The charges in this matter are 1 count of disobeying a court order, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 2 counts of unlawful distribution of images involving nudity. That's a Class 4 felony. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. You currently have a status conference set April 14, preliminary hearing April 16, both at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, based on a review of your history, or I think lack thereof, I think you just have some old history, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at what I have here.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like everything you had was about 20 years old. It's only for that reason I'm going to be releasing you today, because I'll let you know the state did request a bond in your matter, which isn't out of the realm of what's appropriate under the circumstances of your charges here. You are going to be released, but it is subject to the supervision of pretrial services with electronic monitoring that's going to be put in place prior to your release from custody. That's being put in place because you are going to have the orders that you are not to have any contact whatsoever with the alleged victim or any complainant or witness in this matter. So you must obey the terms of the order of protection that has already been issued in this case. I did specifically put for your no contact order that you are not to have any contact, whether direct or indirect, like through third parties or social media. You can also not have any contact with any family members or property of the alleged victim in this matter as well. And I'll just warn you that a violation of a no victim contact order that would constitute aggravated harassment, that's a Class 6 felony. If you come in here on a new felony offense while being on felony release in this case, you would be non-bailable at that point. You just be held in custody. Okay? Do you have any questions regarding that? All right, sir, if you want to go and step over, you go and pick up that paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Are you back at 11?
I am not. Commissioner Campbell will be out here for the 11th. Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
All right, thanks, Tommy.
All right, is Mr. Kaufman coming today? Last night he didn't want to come.
Is Kaufman?
Yeah, has he agreed to come?
This would be his third refusal, Judge, if he refuses to come.
Your Honor, he refused again. I think we would just ask to go forward, since this is his third refusal.
Okay. All right. So on his felony, he is charged with organized retail theft and aggravated shoplifting. And the state's asking for, as I recall last night, a $10,000 bond in lieu of no bond. So.
Your Honor, I think we wouldn't object to that, given that he's already being held without bond in another case.
Okay. All right, I will appoint Kristen Salter to represent him. I will hold him on a $10,000 bond, no return to the incident location. Alcohol or illegal drugs, and set the preliminary hearing for April 8th at 1:30. And then he has a misdemeanor that I will refuse and waive, and I will appoint a public defender on him, and we will just review his case in city court on May 16th at 9 o'clock, but he'll have a public defender if he wants to come earlier. Okay, so that's the end of Mr. Kaufman.
And I'm wondering if we're in the same boat for the next one, Judge.
Yeah,
Is Gordon coming?
yeah, last night he didn't want to come either.
Just a moment.
Okay. Has he refused several times?
No, this would be his only second one, so if he refused, I would say kick him till tonight.
Your Honor, he did refuse again, and I agree with Mr. Goodman.
Okay, all right, we will continue him till tonight.
How about Guerrero? Oh, he's coming. We're not going to speak out quite yet.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Jesus Eduardo Guerrero.
All right, I am seeing you on your warrant out of somewhere. And it's a parole violation. So what I'm going to do is hold you without a bond and appoint the legal defender's office to represent you on this. And your next court date will be a fugitive hearing April 3rd at 2:30.
I'm just going to restate my process over again.
And if I can have just a moment, I'll explain.
Yep. Thanks, counsel. And, okay. All right, then the next two we continued because pretrial services didn't have time to talk to them. So we're into the misdemeanors, you all.
Matt's just to confirm Lopata and Molinar.
Yeah, they asked us to continue to tonight.
They're actually held on other matters, Judge, but I guess we'll see tonight.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. I need
Your Honor,
you,
I don't.
but I need you for a victim.
Okay.
Okay. And
Thank you for letting me know. Thanks.
it's on, actually, it's pretty, in 3 more on Erickson, so.
Thank you.
Thanks, Denise. All right. What's your name, sir?
Stephen Rapata.
No. So much for that. I thought pretrial wanted us to continue him, you all.
Is that?
Your Honor, this is Lisa with pretrial. We did ask for a continuance for him.
Okay. All right. So let's continue Mr. Lapata to tonight, because then pretrial can interview you and maybe make a recommendation as to whether you should be released. Okay. And then officers, also, we don't need Mr. Molinar for the same reason. Was Kaufman one I should have done the Sarita one on, huh? Okay. All right, what's your name, sir? And you guys have muted him.
Tyler Barber.
All right, Mr. Barber, you've got a warrant, multiple warrants out of Marana for a theft charge back in 2021, and 4 failures to appear. So I'm going to hold you on that and appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you.
That's my fault. I'm sorry.
Right, okay, so I'm going to hold you on that, and you'll be seen Monday at noon on that one, and you'll have an attorney. Then you've got a justice court case with failures to appear for possession of drug paraphernalia and shoplifting. So I'm going to order you not to consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and not to go to the incident location. And I'm going to hold you on a $100 bond on that one. I'll appoint Ms. Altschuler on that one also. And your next court date will be Monday at 1 on that one. So you'll have 2 court dates on Monday, and they can decide whether to keep you longer than this.
What is today?
Today's Saturday.
You want to hold me for 2 days?
That's it, sir. We're done.
Okay. This? No, reason. This. All right. What's that? This.
All right. What's your name, sir?
My name is Jorge Benitez Ayala, Your Honor.
You are charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, domestic violence, assault, and domestic violence disorderly conduct. And let's see. I am going to order you not to have any contact with Ms. Gallegos, not to return to her residence. Don't drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. I'm going to release you with those conditions, and you need to be back in Marana City Court on April 30th at 10 a.m. or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. But no contact, no return, sir. All right, you're released.
Erickson. Benitez.
Oh, Judge, gotta help me out, please. Little beaches.
What's your name,
Little
sir?
I've been on username Thomas Erickson.
Okay. All right. Ms. Cruz, are you present?
Señorita Cruz, ¿está presente usted?
Okay. To unmute, press *6, ma'am.
Señorita, para poderle escuchar, póngale estrella 6 para poner su micrófono.
Oh.
Ms. Cruz, there you are. So, Ms. Cruz, you have a right to be heard on conditions like whether Mr. Erickson should be released and whether he should be allowed to have contact with you or return to your residence. Did you want to say anything?
Señorita Cruz, usted tiene el derecho de decir si quiere usted contacto con el señor Cruz, si quiere que tenga, que pueda regresar él a la residencia de usted o que no tenga contacto. ¿Tiene algo que decir usted?
Yo no lo quiero en mi casa. Yo ya estoy enferma, yo no duermo porque él se la lleva tomando y me amenaza mucho con matarme. Yo no duermo, él no duerme.
Permítame. I don't want him home. I'm ill and I don't sleep. He's always drinking. He doesn't let me sleep. He doesn't sleep. I don't sleep. He constantly threatens me, telling me that he's going to kill me.
Oh, my goodness.
Sir, you need to be quiet. All right.
It could be possible.
Quiet, please. Do you have anything else to say, Miss Cruz?
Señorita Cruz, ¿algo más que desee decir?
Que que le pongan orden de restricción, que saque sus cosas y se vaya, porque yo no puedo vivir con él ahí. Yo no
Okay.
puedo vivir con él, yo estoy corriendo peligro con él ahí.
Okay, permítame. I need to get a restraining order. I need for him to go to the house and remove his things, his personal belongings, because I can no longer live with him. I can't, I'm afraid.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Muy bien, señora.
All right, so Mr. Eric,
Oh,
you are charged with assault, criminal damage, and disorderly conduct, all domestic violence charges.
Señor, le han hecho el cargo de agresión, daños ilegales y todos estos son cargos de violencia doméstica y daños ilegales.
I am going to order you not to have any contact with Maria Cruz and not to return to her residence except once with police to get your belongings.
Voy a ordenar que no tenga usted contacto con María Cruz, que no tenga contacto con ella. Puede regresar en una ocasión solamente con las autoridades para recoger sus pertenencias personales.
I'm going to appoint the city public. Ma'am, you're done now. Thank you. You can mute.
Señora, ya no puede hablar, señora. Gracias, por favor.
Okay. ¿No puedo colgar?
Can I hang up?
Yes, well, you might want to know the
¿Puedo
next
colgar?
court date.
Tal vez sí querrá saber la próxima comparecencia, señora.
The next court date is going to be April 8th at 1:45.
La próxima comparecencia será el día 8 de abril a la 1:45.
And city court, so you can come to that, ma'am. Thank you for coming today.
Eso es en el tribunal municipal, señorita. Así es que gracias por presentarse el día de hoy.
Gracias.
Okay, take care. Thank you, Denitza.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, sir. So no contact, no return, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. I'm going to appoint the city public defender to represent you and hold you on a $1,000 bond, and your next court date will be April 8th at 1:45.
hey, Judge, could it be possible that, people, abuse the legal system,
All
to
right,
get
we're
what they
done,
want?
sir. They'll see you April 8th, and you can talk to your public defender about it.
Friedman?
Yeah. Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, I gotta check something, all right? No. Oh, here's okay. All right, what's your name, sir?
Samuel Friedman?
All right, you're charged with criminal damage. I am going to order you not to go back to the incident location and come back to court on May 6th at 9 o'clock. Maybe look into some mental health services in the meantime, all right?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're released.
Thank you. Amber.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Eric Hannenberg?
You're charged with criminal trespass out of city court. So I'm going to order you not to go back to the incident location. And if you are out of custody, then you need to come back to court May 2nd at 9 o'clock or a warrant will issue for your arrest. All right? If you're not out of custody, you should write to the city court so you don't get a warrant. All right?
Okay.
Okay. All right. You're released then. What's your name, sir?
Juan Martinez?
Nope, I got you. Out of order. Hold on a sec. All right, Mr. Martinez, you are charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and domestic violence criminal trespass. And if I release you, you're not to have any contact with Miss Ray and not to return to her residence. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a court order. Okay, so you would be violating it. no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, and you need to come back to court April 29th at 1:30 or a warrant will issue for your arrest. All right?
Sure.
All right, you're released.
Daniel.
What's your name, sir?
Mark Montano.
You're charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct. So I'm going to order you not to have any contact with Arta Montano and not to return to her residence. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no act of domestic violence. And you have to come back to city court April 29th at 2 o'clock or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then you're released with those conditions.
Thank you. Mark.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Anthony Parks.
All right, Mr. Parks, you're charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct. Do you guys have a family court order in place right now?
Yes, ma'am.
So you need to comply with that. I am ordering you to comply with that. So if you don't, it will be a violation of a court order, which is a criminal charge. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
No acts of domestic violence. Contact with the victim only for purposes of complying with family court orders. Okay.
Okay.
And your next court date is going to be on April 29th at 1:30. And if you don't appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're released with those conditions.
Okay. That was smart.
Oh, I'm sorry. And keep up. So let's see.
All right. What's your name, sir?
Sergio Ramon Lopez.
You are charged with possession of a dangerous drug, 2 counts, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And it appears that you are eligible for a program called STEPS, a diversion program that requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in participating in that program?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I will give the defendant a public defender and set a STEPS hearing. But it looks like he has pending cases, so counsel, the state's asking for a $2,500 bond instead of no bond at all. Are you okay with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Release to pretrial services if the bond is posted. So should I leave the April 7th at 9 is the STEPS hearing. Shall I leave the April 8th since he has a bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct.
That within 10 days if he's in custody.
Okay, so April 8th at 1:30 is the preliminary hearing, and then the STEPS is April 7th at 9. All right, and Mr. Lopez, you got a shoplift charge out of city court, and I am going to appoint a city public defender to follow you along on your felonies, and if you're out, you can come to court, contact them, but if you're not, what we'll do is review this May 16th and see where you are and what you can come earlier if you want. Just talk to your public defender, okay?
Okay.
Would that be at 1:45, Your Honor?
It's at 9 o'clock, May 16th.
Right.
It's the non-transport review, yeah, until we see what's going on with his other. All right. All right, what's your name, ma'am?
Brittany Mahoka.
You are charged with theft and possession of narcotic drugs, and counsel the state's asking for a $5,000 bond.
Sir, we would ask that you release Ms. Mahoka to pretrial services supervision. I believe her only prior felony arrest was in 2004. These are nonviolent property and drug offenses. Given that, we would ask that you give her an opportunity on pretrial services release.
All right, she has multiple failures to appear, which lead me to believe that that would not be a good idea, but I'm going to hold her on a $1,000 bond with release to pretrial services if posted. Appoint the public defender, no return to the incident location, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and if you post the bond, you need to be compliant with your conditions of pretrial services. And the next court date will be a preliminary hearing April 8th at 1:30. I have to do a bunch of these misdemeanors now. So let's see how many are in justice court. In justice court, you have a failure to appear on a violation of a court order, a failure to appear on a domestic violence violation of a court order, another one, violation of court, and a theft. So what I'm going to do on all of those is hold you on a $500 bond total and appoint Saul Huerta to represent you, ma'am. And your next court date on all your justice court cases will be Monday at 1 p.m.
That's the 31st, Ronan?
Yeah, the 31st at 1 for video.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna do all of her paperwork. It'll take me a minute. All right. What's your name, sir?
Chris McBride.
You are charged with third-degree burglary. And counsel the state's asking for a $7,500 bond. Did you want to be heard?
Pretrial services supervision. It does appear that his last felony arrest was in 2017. This is a nonviolent property offense. Pretrial services scored him at 2. He does not have an NVCA flag. And it appears he does not have any failures to appear in the past 2 years. Given that, we would ask that you release him to pretrial services supervision.
Okay. Mr. Goodman, do you want to say anything?
Your Honor, I would just look at each and every one of his prior felony convictions pretty much are for identical conduct. So it's a nonviolent offense, I agree, but he's made it evidence based on the history that he's just not going to stop doing what he's doing.
Okay. I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. McBride, order him not to go back to the incident locations, no contact with the victims, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to hold him on a $2,500 bond, pretrial services if posted, and set the preliminary hearing for April 8th at 1:30 based on his history and the allegations. What's your name, sir?
Stem.
All right, state dismissing the felony drug charges against Mr. Stem, so I will grant that. But Mr. Stem has multiple charges of indecent exposure, criminal trespass, drug paraphernalia, disorderly conduct out of city court. So I am going to hold him on a $750 bond, appoint the city public defender, no contact with any of the victims, no return to the incident locations. And the next court date will be on everything will be April 8th at 1:45, a video review.
Is there any way that it could be RO today? I promised to show up on April 8th on my family, on everything, please.
All right, well, you can talk to your attorney about it. All right, we're done, sir.
Hey, man, what is today's date? Oh, like 9 days away. Fucking kidding me, man. I thought. Anderson.
We know what kind of probation Mr. Anderson is on. Is it domestic violence? It doesn't really say. It just says he's on misdemeanor probation. That's, oh, theft. Okay, thanks. I'm talking to myself, but I know pretrial services is listening. All right. What's your name, sir?
Anderson.
All right, you are charged with domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct, and I am going to order you not to go back to Jeffrey Anderson's house and not to have any contact with him. You understand?
Yes.
No acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you need to come back to court May 7th at 10 o'clock, or a warrant will issue for your arrest.
Okay. When will I be released?
I don't know, talk to the jail.
Okay. Will I be here until May 7th?
No, I'm releasing you. Just don't go back and no contact, okay?
Okay, yes, Judge. And then on my next court date, will I be going over there?
Let me write something on here. On your next court date, you need to show up. Nobody's going to be holding you, I guess. It looks like I was your only hold, so I'm releasing you. So you need to come to court May 7th at 10 o'clock, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thanks, Judge.
Okay.
I'm fine. We'll sit wherever.
What's your name, sir?
James Champagne.
You're charged with 4 counts of disorderly conduct. So if I release you, you cannot go back to the library. You understand that?
I definitely understand that. Thank you.
And you're going to comply with that order not to go back there?
Certainly.
And have no contact with any of the staff there, okay?
Will not.
All right, then you're released and you need to come back to Justice Court April 8th at 8:30 or a warrant will issue for your arrest, okay?
April 8th at 8:30.
Yep.
Is there any help with like a bus token or something to get back there?
No. You'll have to
Thank
figure it
you.
out because the bus is
I will
free.
figure it
So you
out.
don't really need a bus token, right? It's free. So get on the bus and go to court.
No, is there a bus that goes to Aravaca?
I don't know, sir, but you need to come to court. Okay?
Figure it out. On the 8th at 8:30. Where's the paper? You get paperwork. Thank you. Yes.
All right. What's your name, sir?
Raul Gutierrez.
All right. You are charged with 4 counts of domestic violence, disorderly conduct. And then, is there a victim here on the Gutierrez case that wanted to be heard? Okay. *6 to unmute. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
And what's your name, ma'am?
Blanca Olivares.
Okay. All right. So, ma'am, you have a right to be heard on contact and return and conditions, like letting Mr. Gutierrez out or not. Did you want to be heard?
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Raul Gutierrez is my son, and he's had drinking or alcohol problems for a long time. And it's getting worse and worse until it got to this point where he gets very, very violent and aggressive. And what I'm asking to please assign him to some kind of program where he is mandated to go, because he has been told to go, but he doesn't go and get the help that he needs. When he's sober, he's fine, no problem. And I am not going to let him stay on the streets as long as he complies with the options that I'm giving, so he can come back to the house. We all love him and care for him, and I don't want to see him on the streets. And I do want to see that he does get the help that he needs, please.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. So we can't force someone to get help unless they want it. I am going to order the defendant not to consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. I'm going to appoint Robin Auld to represent him and hold him on a $500 bond. And the next court date will be Monday at 1 p.m. And ma'am, you're welcome to come to that court date too. But in that case, then the judge might be able to impose more conditions than I can impose today. So things like having him test and things like that. So I'm going to keep him in custody now since he hasn't shown any inclination to stay sober. And then on Monday, he'll have another chance.
Your Honor, if I can say something.
Sure.
I've been sober for a while now, and I did relapse. I've been 3 weeks sober. I did relapse, and I do plan on getting help. I've looked into many places. I was recently in the CRC, and they provided me with a lot of information. And next week was when I was planning to really, dive into those programs.
Yeah. Okay. So you can talk to your lawyer about that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's it, sir.
Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am. We're done tonight. Like I said, you can come on Monday and talk to the judge then. Thank you.
Okay.
Can she post bond today? Yes, she can.
But you might want him to have 2 days of sobriety too. So that'll be up to her.
Castillo?
Yes. I do want him to be sober. And that was my question about the bond. Does he need to pay for that bond to be released?
Yes.
Oh my God, there's no money, Your Honor.
All right. Well, thank you, ma'am, for coming, and you can talk to the judge on Monday, okay?
Thank you.
All right. What's your name, sir?
My name is Ernie Castillo.
All right. You are charged with unlawful discharge of firearms, and counsel the state's asking for a $10,000 bond.
Your Honor, I would ask that you release Mr. Castillo to pretrial services supervision. He's only 18 years old. Pretrial services did score him at a 1. He has no prior felony arrests of any kind, no prior felony referrals of any kind. Pretrial services was able to speak with his mother who confirmed that he can reside there. He also has a Title 36 hold, so I think that He's in need of services beyond what the jail can provide. Given the allegations in this case, given the Title 36 hold, and given his age, we would ask that you release him to pretrial services supervision so that he can engage in mental health treatment outside of the jail.
Okay. Well, but he's wandering around shooting guns off too. So I have to consider the safety of the community. So I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Castillo, order him not to go back to the incident locations, no guns, surrender any guns he might have, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and hold him on a $5,000 bond, pretrial services if posted, and the preliminary hearing will be April 8th at 1:30.
What's that?
You know, they're bringing the rest of the felonies in. I think they need a little bit more time to search happy at a court, so we could just move him later into the calendar or to the end.
Your Honor, can we come back to Tapia just because he's still coming down from his housing unit?
Yep.
Hey, Alvarez.
All right.
Morning.
What's your name, ma'am?
Mariana Alvarez.
All right. It looks like you have a warrant out of Superior Court for failure to appear for your initial appearance on charges from January of this year, theft of means of transportation, and tampering with physical evidence. And counsel, it's got a $5,000 bond.
Sort of pretrial services supervision. This case was dismissed and then refiled. It appears that the Superior Court mailed a summons to her at a general delivery address. So I don't believe that Ms. Alvarez got actual notice of the hearing, and she would have no reason to believe the charges would be refiled that quickly. Do you, if I could have just one moment to confirm a current mailing? Your Honor, she does have a valid mailing address right now. It's the 14120 West Lodori Road. Address is in the pretrial services workup.
Okay. All right. Then I will appoint the public defender and order the defendant not to go back to the incident location, no contact with the victims, release no alcohol or illegal drugs, release you to pretrial services. You need to report to them, and you need to come back for your arraignment on April 4th at 1:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. Then you have a city case of trespassing from February of this year. So do not go back to the incident location on that one, and come back to court on your city court case on April 29th at 2:00, or a warrant will issue for your arrest again.
I'm a girl.
What's your name?
Brianna Emiker.
You are charged with possession of narcotic drugs, possession of dangerous drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, and the state's asking for a $3,000 bond. Counsel, did you want to be heard?
Your Honor, I would ask that you release her to pretrial services supervision. I understand that Mr. Goodman indicated that she is not eligible for steps. However, these are just personal drug possession cases. I did confirm with records she does not have a probation hold. So probation and pretrial would be able to monitor her and help her engage in drug treatment if released.
I was going to put rehab on Thursday.
And
The custody.
it sounds like she's already coordinated with probation. Was that through probation?
Yeah.
To go to rehab on Thursday. Since she is trying to engage in treatment and given the nature of these new charges, I would ask you to give her an opportunity on pretrial services release.
Okay. All right. I will appoint the public defender to represent you, order you to report your probation officer on Monday morning. Before noon, you need to check in with your probation officer. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Report to pretrial services also, and the preliminary hearing will be April 18th at 1.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yes.
All right. What's your name, sir? Daniel Bias. You're charged with sales of narcotic drugs, sales of dangerous drugs, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And the state's asking for a $10,000 bond. Counsel, did you want to be heard?
Your Honor, I would ask that you release Mr. Baez to pretrial services supervision. It does appear that his last felony arrest, sorry, I was confirming the date, was in 2021. He did successfully complete parole in 2022, and it doesn't appear that he has had any new cases or police contact in the past 3 years. Pretrial services was able to speak with his girlfriend who confirmed housing for him. These are nonviolent drug offenses. Given that, we would ask you to give him an opportunity on pretrial services release.
Okay. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent the defendant, order him not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. I am going to hold him on a $10,000 bond given his history and the amount of the drugs. Pretrial services have posted, and the preliminary hearing will be April 8th at 1:30. Then Mr. Baez has a city court case that a criminal damage back from 2022. So I'm just going to have give you a city public defender to follow your felony, sir. And then we'll set this for May 16th at 9 o'clock. And they can ask for it to be moved up or down depending on what's happening with your felony. So, and that's it.
Your Honor, I have Mr. Tapia here finally.
Okay. Thanks.
You doing that?
I'm good over you.
All right. What's your name, sir?
My name's Jesus Tapia.
All right. You are charged with felony criminal damage, and the state's asking for a $10,000 bond. Counsel.
Your Honor.
If I can have just a moment, Your Honor, sorry.
Yep.
Your Honor, who'd like to address the court about release?
Your Honor, $10,000 seems excessive since it was $2,500 last time.
Oh. Your Honor, we would ask that you release Mr. Tapia to pretrial services supervision. He does have a Title 36 hold, and so if he is released from the jail, he will be my understanding, taken to the CRC so he can engage in mental health treatment. These are property offenses. Given that, we would ask that you give him an opportunity on pretrial services release. I believe any bond is going to be beyond his ability to pay, and it's going to effectively hold him no bond. So given that, we would ask that you release him for pretrial services supervision.
Okay. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Tapia. I'm going to order him not to go back to the incident locations, no alcohol or illegal drugs, $5,000 bond, pretrial services if posted, and April 8th at 1:30 will be the preliminary hearing.
Your Honor, thank you very much, Your Honor. I want to say something. They brought me in on this other charge. The other charge.
What's your name, ma'am?
Tiffany Hendricks.
All right, you are charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct with a weapon, 2 counts. And state's asking for a $50,000 bond. Counsel, did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor, I would ask that you release Ms. Hendricks to pretrial services supervision, alternatively impose a significantly lower bond. It does appear that she completed her last sentence in 2008 and has no prior, she said 2004, pretrial services indicated 2008. And no felony arrests since then, no prior domestic violence arrest of any kind, misdemeanor or felony, no prior orders of protection. Given that, we would ask that you give her an opportunity on pretrial services release. Alternatively, impose a significantly lower bond given her ability.
Okay. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent Ms. Hendricks. I am going to order her not to have any contact with Joe Wilson and not to return to his residence. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or other weapons. I'm going to hold her on a $10,000 bond, pretrial services if posted, and set the preliminary hearing for April 8th at 1:30. Ms. Hendricks, you really should. Next time someone offers you domestic violence services, you should take advantage of them, okay? But at this point, I am going to hold you on that bond.
And Your Honor, would that order also include the minor victim who was present? Because there are 2 counts here.
Yeah, I'm
The
not,
no
sure
contest.
I'm not sure what the 2 counts were because there were 2 counts with a weapon and there were no allegations that the weapon was used towards the minor. So I'm not going to put the minor on that order.
Boston.
All right, what's your name, sir?
No.
All right, you are charged with possession of narcotic drugs and possession of narcotic paraphernalia, and the state's asking for a $3,000 bond. Counsel, did you want to be heard?
Charlie, would ask that you give him an opportunity on pretrial services release. I understand, again, Mr. Goodman indicated he's not eligible for steps. However, this is just a personal drug possession case. He's on probation for personal drug possession. So we would ask that you give him an opportunity on pretrial services release so he can engage in treatment outside the jail.
All right. I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Lofton and order him not to possess any alcohol or illegal drugs. Report to your probation officer by Monday morning. noon. And released to pretrial services. So you need to report to them and come back to court April 18th for your preliminary hearing. Also, Mr. Lofton has a misdemeanor refusal to give his true name back from 2024. So come back to court on that one, April 30th at 2 o'clock, or a warrant will issue for your arrest in city court.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, call your PO.
Romero?
What's your name?
Daniel Romero?
You are charged with aggravated driving under the influence. Counsel of the state's asking for a $5,000 bond. Did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor, we would ask that you release Mr. Romero to pretrial services supervision. He's only 21 years old. Pretrial services would be able to require that he come to the office regularly to breathalyze if they deem that that was necessary and appropriate. Given his score and his age, we would ask that you give him an opportunity on pretrial services release.
Okay. So his license is suspended for the pending case. Is that what you guys are seeing? Basically not.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. All right, Mr. Romero, I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't drive without a valid license. I am going to hold you on a $5,000 bond since your license is suspended for DUI that you were arrested on. Released to pretrial services if posted April 8th at 1:30 is the preliminary hearing.
Next one. Sound good? Okay.
What's your name?
Aaron Sampy.
Charged with
Aaron Sampy.
domestic violence, criminal damage. State's asking for a $10,000 bond. Counsel, did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor, we would ask that you release Mr. Sampy to pretrial services supervision. Pretrial services scored him at a 1. He does not have an NPCA flag. He's a 3 on the NCA scale, a 2 on the FTA scale. He did indicate that he is employed part-time. He has no prior felony arrests of any kind. Given that, we would ask that you give him an opportunity on pretrial services release.
Okay. This was a lot of damage that's alleged. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Sampy, order him not to have any contact with Angelique Dion, not to return to her residence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no guns. Do you have any guns, sir?
No, ma'am.
Don't possess any guns while the case is going. I am going to hold him on a $10,000 bond, pretrial services if posted April 8th at 1:30 is the preliminary hearing.
What do you want to say? Hold on.
No, I didn't want to.
Really?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sanchez?
What's your name, sir?
Ezra Sanchez, ma'am.
You're charged with 2 counts of being prohibited possessor and possession of firearms. And so what's he prohibited possessor for if pretrial services can find nothing?
It's,
Hold on 1 second.
Your Honor, it's outlined in the interim complaint. Law enforcement at the very end listed out the JV juvenile adjudication number. So it would do to be having the prior, and I noticed sometimes pretrial may or may not catch it, but law enforcement specifically put the file number there and what it was for.
Okay. All right, and a juvenile conviction makes you a prohibited possessor until it's set aside or until forever?
It's very similar to felony convictions where they would have to petition to have their rights restored, Judge.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Goodman. All right, but yet you're agreeing with pretrial?
Correct, Judge. I believe it's at least appropriate based on his risk factors. In what I read, I believe I'm okay with his release to pretrial.
All right, then I will appoint the public defender and order the defendant not to possess any firearms and surrender any firearms that he has. Report to pretrial services as your conditions of release and come back to court April 18th at 1:30 for your preliminary hearing.
All right, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Drugs.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Preston Jordan Scruggs.
All right, I have a warrant for you out of Cochise County for dangerous drugs and driving under the influence, and it's got a no bond hold. So, counsel, we will have no bond hearing. We'll just have a review hearing to see if they come pick you up, sir, and that will be April 29th at 9 o'clock. So that will be the next time, but hopefully we won't see you because they'll come get you before that, okay? All right, what's your name, sir?
Trevor Terrasis.
All right, you're charged with possession of narcotic drug, possession of drug paraphernalia, and looks like you may be eligible for a diversion program called STEPS. It only requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in the program?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then I will appoint the public defender to represent you and order you not to possess any alcohol or illegal drugs and report to pretrial services as a condition of your release. The STEPS program, the diversion program, is April 7th at 9 o'clock. And then what do you all want? Longer, the 45 days?
We'll waive time for the PH.
Okay, so what would that be? May 13th, I'm hearing. At 1:30 will be the preliminary hearing to give Mr. Grassa's time to get going on his diversion program. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Valenzuela.
All right. What's your name, ma'am?
Marla Valenzuela.
All right. You are charged with transporting dangerous drugs for sale. And the state is also agreeing that I should release you to pretrial. I'm going to order you not to have any contact with your co-conspirators. I'm calling them that because you're not charged with conspiracy, but the people, that you might have been working with. You don't say anything. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Report to pretrial services and come back to court April 18th at 1:30 for your preliminary hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
And Judge, just a heads up on the next one for Vasquez. I know one of the interims are giving the personal possession statutes, but he wouldn't be eligible for steps on that one. If you look at the quantities, it's self-explanatory in that interim.
Okay, and you know what, you guys, there was somebody, and I missed my own note, but somebody that was charged with like narcotics instead of dangerous or vice versa, and I have no idea who it was. Now we passed it along, but anyway, so I'm just going to give you a heads up. I signed it, and I was going to ask you guys what you wanted to do, but it passed by us. So I will let you know to look at those because somebody was cited with the wrong drugs. Okay. So, all right. Are you Mr. Vasquez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So from December 9th of last year, you're charged with possession of a dangerous drug, possession of 3 counts of possession of narcotic drug, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And then from this morning, you are charged with 2 counts of being prohibited possessor, 2 counts or a count of possession of narcotic drugs, 2, I guess. 3 counts of possession of a narcotic drug, 1 for sale, possession of a dangerous drug, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And so, Mr. Goodman, on each of these cases, you're asking for a $10,000 bond. Is that correct?
Yes, that would be correct, based on his criminal history, parole status, and the amount of drugs involved in each case.
Okay. All right. What's the defense position?
Your Honor, we would ask for a nominal bond for time credit given the DOC.
Okay. So he has a DOC hold. All right. So I think it deserves more than a nominal bond. So I am going to hold Mr. Vasquez on a $10,000 bond on each, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and set the preliminary hearings for April 18th. At
Which is the 8th, Your Honor, if he's being held.
Oh yes, I'm sorry, the 8th. Thank you. For April 8th at 1:30. If you guys find that other person, I can certainly give the clerk my authority to hit the dismiss button. Do you want to do that? I just can't remember who it was, you guys. Or do you want to just deal with it at the next court date?
Judge, it depends on, I'm trying to go through the interims now, looking at, we see.
We're done.
Oh, I think I know. I think I might know which one you're referring to. Let me see. I might have found it, Judge.
Okay, if you guys got our copies of them, I don't think you do, because I put a question mark on it, and then I just totally ignored it. But we are done with Mr. Vasquez. So. But it was a cocaine and somebody with, I don't remember now, Peter. If you can find it, that would be great before I leave.
I think I found it. It might have been Sergio Lopez's case.
Okay.
Trying to look at what we did with that one, Judge. He was being screened for steps. I think it would be, he's the one that we held on a bond and being screened for steps. It would kind of be counterintuitive for him, because if we dismiss charges, then we would just bring the direct indictment versus him participating in the diversion, if that makes sense.
Right. So sometimes when this has happened, everybody's agreed to just amend it because it actually goes to his advantage to just amend it. So
it's going to be held in the jail regardless, and that's why he has the steps bond. So we would not object to amending the interim complaint.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's the weird part, Judge. I see that the interim originally had, it looks like it might have been the correct statute, and then it was crossed. No, yeah, it was the correct statute almost at first, and then it was crossed out.
Okay.
And the officer did 2 counts of dangerous drug when it should have been substance weight tested positive for crack, because it was crack and fentanyl, so it would have been 2 counts of narcotic drug.
All right.
Under 3408A1.
Okay, and the clerk just gave me back the interim complaint, so I'm gonna say state defense agreed to amend to narcotic drugs for both counts, okay? And then we can go from there. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Guys, I'm sorry I missed that, but I knew.
That's-
Secure your release. You may not have contact with, you may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, have any contact with any alleged victim or complainant, and no contact with any co-defendant. So if you go ahead, have a...
Okay, when was my next court date?
The first one is April 3rd.
Okay, the first one is the status conference, they're gonna blow it out. So the second one is what, April 7th, you said?
April 7th. I wouldn't blow off anything, really. Raul Burman. And then Elijah Colamy. Mr. Burman, please state your name for the record.
Raul Bruman.
Is it just Bruman?
Bruman.
Bruman, okay.
Yeah.
And sir, you are here. You are here on two matters. You are here on a first matter for a new case with an arrest date of March 28, 25, and you were arrested on charges of criminal damage, a class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause for that. And I am appointing you an attorney. There is a hearing set in the Goodyear Municipal Court for on April 2nd. And I'm setting a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. In your second case, which is a probation it's a warrant issued on a probation violation case, in the Maricopa County Superior Court. I am appointing you an attorney in that case as well. And you have hearing set on April 4th at 8:30 in the downtown Maricopa County Superior Court. I am setting a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. In the event that you are able to post that bond, you do need to contact in the event that you are able to secure your release and to post the entire, the 1,000 for both, right?
Yeah.
You do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours, okay?
Okay, all right.
All right, go ahead, step to the left, get your paperwork. All right, Elijah Colamy, please, and then if Sarah Massey could have a seat by the door. It's going pretty good. Please state your name for the record.
Elijah Colamy,
All right, Mr. Colamy, what is your date of birth?
April 8th, 2003.
All right, and you are here on two matters. The first is based on an arrest on March 28th, yesterday, for possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. Did find probable cause for all of those violations. I am appointing you an attorney. I'm setting two hearings in your case. The first one is for April 3rd at 8:30, and the second one is for April 7th at 8:30 in the downtown Maricopa County Superior Court. On these charges from yesterday, or these violations cited yesterday, I am setting a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. All right, and in the second case, you are here in the CR 2022-111403 case based on a warrant for probation violations.
What?
And yes, I'm appointing you an attorney in that case and setting hearings on April 4th at 8:30 in the downtown Maricopa County Superior Court. I am setting a secured appearance bond in the second matter in the amount of $500. So your total secured appearance bond for both cases is $1,000. In the event you're able to post that secured appearance bond, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Go ahead, step to left. Officer will have your paperwork for you. Sarah Massey, and then Keith Dixon, please.
Hi.
Hi. Ms. Massey, go ahead, state your name for the record.
Sarah N. Massey.
And Ms. Massey, what is your date of birth?
5/31/76.
All right, and Ms. Massey, you are here on an arrest warrant off of a direct complaint from the Maricopa County Superior Court. I am appointing you an attorney, and I'm setting two hearings, the first on April 3rd at 8:30, the second one on April 7th at 8:30 at downtown Maricopa County Superior Court. I am setting a secured appearance bond in this matter in the amount of $500.
Okay, and they let you know the reason I missed my court date was I was hospitalized and I'm a victim as well, and
Okay, so I am appointing you an attorney, and
Okay.
you can explain
To
that
deal
to
with
the
that.
attorney and to the judge. Go ahead and step to left, and
Okay.
she'll have your paperwork.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, Keith Dixon, and then if Patricia Diamond could please have a seat by the door.
Keith Dixon, birthday 6/6/1973.
And that's very efficient. I appreciate that. Mr. Dixon, so you are here on two matters. The first is a warrant out of the El Centro Justice Court for failure to appear on a written, based upon a written promise to appear. I am appointing you an attorney and a hearing's being set at the El Centro Justice Court for April 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. I am setting a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. In the second case, which is an out-of-county warrant from the Pinal County Superior Court, an attorney will be appointed for you at your next hearing. Based upon that Pinal County Superior Court warrant, I am holding you non-bondable today. But a hearing has been set in the Pinal County Superior Court for April 2nd at 8:30. So go ahead, step to the
At
left.
April 2nd at 8:30, I will be appointed an attorney then?
Yes, you should be appointed
Thank you.
an attorney then. All right, Patricia Diamond and then Jeffrey Rowe.
Hello, good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. Go ahead, Ms. Diamond, state your name for the record.
It's going to be Patricia June Diamond.
And Ms. Diamond, what is your date of birth?
03/31/1986, March 31st.
All right, and you are here on an arrest warrant out of the Maricopa County Superior Court for probation violation.
Yes, ma'am.
I am appointing you an attorney and setting two hearings in your case for April 4th at 8:30 in the downtown Maricopa County Superior Court.
Okay.
I am setting a secured appearance bond in your matter of $250. In the event that you're able to post that bond, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release.
And when's my next court date then?
April 4th at 8:30. And it'll all be on your paperwork.
So you're going to keep me here until the close?
Yeah, I'm setting a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. So if you can post that bond, you can get released. But if you do, don't forget to contact your probation officer.
Okay.
Okay? Jeffrey Rowe and then Craig Coles. Mr. Rowe, please state your name for the record.
Jeffrey Nicholas Rowe, ROE.
All right, and Mr. Rowe, what is your date of birth?
9/7/89.
All right, and Mr. Rowe, you are here today on a failure to appear warrant out of the Maricopa County Superior Court. I am appointing you an attorney, although I think that an attorney has already been appointed for you.
I was trying to get here that day. I couldn't make it. I didn't have any bus fare. I didn't have anything. You know, I couldn't make it that day.
Okay, so were you having problems like paying for the bus fare?
Bus fare. My phone was broken. I got a free phone at one point, but then I laid on it like in my pocket, and it cracked the whole screen out and stuff. I've lost it since then. I didn't have any bus fare. I couldn't call you.
So I'm going to assign you to pretrial service. So let me go through my things so I don't forget. I am appointing you an attorney, although I think an attorney has already been provided for you. I'm setting two hearings in your case, the first on April 3rd at 8:30 and the second one on April 7th at 8:30. I am setting a secured appearance bond in your matter in the amount of $500, and I'm assigning you to pretrial supervision so you can get things like a bus pass.
And so what does that mean? I'll be in custody until then?
Unless and until you can post that $500 secured appearance bond.
That won't never happen, so.
Okay, then they can give you a ride to your hearing on April 3rd. All right, go ahead, step to the left. All right, Craig Coles and Ramon Montancias. Mr. Coles, can you please state your name for the record?
Craig Coles,
And Mr. Coles, what is your date of birth?
March 28th of 80.
All right, and Mr. Coles, you are here on some new charges based upon an arrest on March 28th for possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I didn't find probable cause in the Form 4 for those two felony violations. I did find probable cause for the shoplifting, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. I am appointing you, and that was just for the limited purposes of today's hearing. Charges may still be brought on those two where I'm not finding probable cause today. I'm appointing you an attorney, and I'm setting two hearings, the first for April 14th and the second one for April 16th, both at 8:30, both in the downtown Maricopa County Superior Court. Now, Mr. Coles, are you going to be able to go to those two hearings?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so based upon that, I'm going to release you today on your own recognizance, subject to pretrial services. They'll be able to get you stuff like a bus pass. So if you will go ahead, Mr. Coles, have a step to the left, and they will get you your paperwork. All right. Ramon Montacias And then Edward Fulmer, please. Good morning. Mr. Montencias, please state your name for the record.
Ramon Montencias,
And Mr. Montencias, what is your date of birth?
4/8/63.
All right, and you are here on a new Superior Court case for based upon violations for possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and criminal trespass, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause for all of those violations. I am appointing you an attorney and setting 2 hearings in your case, the first for April 14th at 8:30 and the second one for April 16th at 8:30. Now, Mr. Montencias, are you going to go to those 2 court dates?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to go ahead today and release you on your own recognizance. If you go ahead, step to the left, officer will have your paperwork for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Edward Fulmer and then Alex Mayerchik. Mr. Fulmer, please state your name for the record.
Edward Fulmer,
And Mr. Fulmer, what is your date of birth?
1/2/92.
Okay. And you are here today based upon your arrest on March 28, 2025 for 2 violations, possession of dangerous drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony, and possession of narcotic drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony. Based upon the limited information I have in front of me, I'm not finding probable cause for those today. That does not mean that those cases are dismissed or that charges won't be brought. It just means that for purposes of today, I'm not finding probable cause. Based upon the information that I have in front of me, I'm also not appointing you an attorney today. That doesn't mean that you can't retain your own attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
I am setting 2 hearings in your case, the first one for April 14th at 8:30 and the other one for April 16th at 8:30, both in the downtown Maricopa County Superior Court. So if you go ahead, step to your left, officer will have your paperwork for you. All right, Alex Mayerchik. Mr. Mayerchik, please go ahead, state your name.
My name is Alex Marquez Mayerchik,
Mr. Mayerchik, what is your date of birth?
April 7th, 1968.
Okay, so you were arrested on March 28th for 3 violations. The first is 3rd-degree burglary. I did find no probable cause for that based upon the limited information that I have in front of me. But again, that doesn't mean that that charge won't be brought. I did find probable cause. Can you hear me okay, Mr. Mayerchik?
I've had a little trouble, but yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you.
So you just raise your hand if you can't hear me, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I did find probable cause for for dangerous drug possession and a Class 4 felony, and for possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. Okay, I am appointing you an attorney, and I am setting 2 hearing dates in your case. The first one on April 14th at 8:30 and the second one on April 16th at 8:30 in the downtown Maricopa County Superior Court. Now, Mr. Mayerchik, are you going to be able to go to those 2 hearings? Okay. So based upon that, I'm going to release you today on your own recognizance. If you'll step to the left, officer will have your paperwork for you. And officer, I think that's everyone. Other than the house calls, did I miss anyone? No, we're good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make a record for the house calls, and then we'll go ahead and do that. All right, the first house call is Ronaldo Torres Balsameda, and Mr. Balsameda is not able to come to court this morning based upon unsafe behavior. Mr. Torres Balmaceda's date of birth is March 30th, 1989. And Mr. Torres Balsameda has been is on charges of aggravated assault on a correctional employee, which I did find probable cause for. I am appointing him an attorney and setting 2 hearings in his case, the first for April 3rd and the second for April 7th, both at 8:30 in the downtown Maricopa County Superior Court. I am setting a secured appearance bond in his matter in the amount of $5,000. In the second case, which is Caleb Brown, Mr. Brown is also not able to come to court this morning because of unsafe behavior. Mr. Brown's date of birth is August 20th, 1985, and he is been arrested on charges of aggravated assault. I did find probable cause for the aggravated assault, and am appointing Mr. Brown an attorney. And setting 2 hearings for Mr. Brown, the first one on April 3rd at 8:30 and the second one on April 7th at 8:30. I am setting a secured appearance bond for Mr. Brown in the amount of $7,500 and assigning Mr. Brown in the event he is able to post that bond to pretrial services for placement of electronic monitoring. All right, with that court's going to, in the event that those release orders change, I will update the written order. And with that, the court stands in recess until 2 p.m.
Okay. Yeah. Have I done it since they brought in here?
be that far along before you take over. That's all. Take us 50 years. No coffee. Nowhere near drinking that. So my second wind is gone. Think that might be her coming. All rise. The Honorable Janine Dyer now presiding.
Good afternoon. You may be seated. Good afternoon. This is the time set for the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar for March 29th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples made on the first of this month will apply to all matters on this calendar. I'm going to be calling you each up to the podium one by one, where I will ask you for your first and last name and your date of birth. I will then tell you why you are here, whether or not an attorney has been appointed to you, what your upcoming court dates are, what your bond will be if you are eligible for bond, and what your release conditions will be. Some of you may have some questions while I'm providing this advisement to you. I would just ask you hold your questions until that advisement is completed. The first person that I'm going to call to the podium is Mr. Wyatt, and then Mr. Robolito. If you'll please have a seat in the chair. Mr. Wyatt?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yes, it's Sean Wyatt, and it's 11/01/1976.
Thank you. You are here today because you have a warrant out of Pinal County. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have an arraignment hearing on April 2nd at 8:30. According to the warrant is as a result of a violation of probation, and you would not be eligible for a bond today.
Okay.
So Pinal County will pick you up, and you'll have your hearing on April 2nd, and you'll move from there.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So that takes care of everything that I have to advise you of. If you have no questions for me, if you will please, step to the left, and the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Robolito, if you'll please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Munoz, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jose Reboleto, 06/1991.
You are here today because a warrant was issued when you filed to appear for a court date. An attorney was already appointed to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on April 3rd at 8:30. You have a cash-only bond in the amount of $5,000. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, any bond that you post would be forfeited, another warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. That takes care of everything that I have to advise you of today. If you have no questions for me, you can step to the left, and the officer will give you your paperwork.
So would I be able to talk to my attorney today?
Probably not on a Sunday.
Not on a Sunday?
I'm pretty sure that your attorney doesn't.
And how much would I have to post to bail?
It's $5,000 cash.
That's the only amount I could post?
That is what the judge ordered in your case. When they issued the warrant, it was a bond, a cash bond in the amount of $5,000.
Okay.
Mr. Munoz, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Barra, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Raymond Daniel Munoz, 8/21/89.
You are here today because you have a new case and then you have a violation of probation. I'm going to first talk to you about your new case.
Okay.
On the new case, you were charged with 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony. I did find probable cause as to that offense. You do have a status conference hearing on April 3rd at 8:30, and then a preliminary hearing on April 7th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $15,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot possess any weapons, and you do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release, and you do need to make sure that you appear for your court dates. And then as to your violation of probation, I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter as well. You have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 4th at 8:30, and you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. So between the two cases, you have a total secured appearance bond in the amount of $15,250. Make sure that you contact your probation officer, that you appear for your court dates, and comply with your release conditions. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date would result in any bond that you post being forfeited, a warrant being issued for your arrest, and additional bond being imposed. So that takes care of everything that I have to advise you of. If you have no questions for me, if you want to.
It's not a cash, it's not secured, so.
It's secured, so it's 10% of $15,250.
I thank you. Have one.
Mr. Barra, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Ross Pink, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
My name is Tyler Barra, 08194.
You are here today because two warrants were issued when you failed to appear for your court dates. An attorney was appointed to represent you in both matters. On one matter, you have a status conference hearing on April 3rd at 8:30. On the second matter, again, you have a status conference hearing on April 3rd at 8:30. Each warrant had a cash bond of in the amount of $1,000, so your total bond is $2,000 cash. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, any bond that you posted would be forfeited. Another warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Ross Pink, if you will please come into the courtroom. And Ms. Quintero, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Christopher Ross Pink, March 13th, 1975.
Sir, you were here today because you have a warrant out of Buckeye Municipal Court. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have an arraignment hearing on April 2nd at 1 o'clock. I did order a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear, any bond that you posted will be forfeited and additional bond would be imposed. That takes care of everything that I have to advise you of. If you have no questions for me, if you
How much would the bond be then, $100? Okay, how would I pay that?
So they have the information back there on how you would find out.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. Miss Quintero, will you please come into the courtroom? And Miss Townsend, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. So, ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Gracie Marie Quintero, 8/23/1989.
You were here today because you have 3 warrants for failing to appear for your court dates. An attorney has been appointed to represent you already in all 3 matters. You have on two of the matters, you have a status conference hearing date of, Okay. On one of the warrants, you have a status conference hearing on April 3rd at 8:30 with a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. On the other two matters, you have on the one matter, you have a disposition hearing on April 3rd at 8:30 with a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. And on the last one, you have a disposition hearing on April 3rd at 8:30 with a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. So between the three cases, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $7,500. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for all your court dates. If you fail to do so, any bond that you post would be forfeited. A warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. So that takes care of everything that I have to advise you of.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Townsend, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Stallings, will you please have a seat in the chair? Ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Madison Townsend, October 24th, 1999.
You are here because you have 3 warrants for failing to appear for a court date. An attorney had been appointed to represent you already in all 3 matters. You do have on one matter, you have a non-witness hearing on April 7th at 8:30, and you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. In the second matter, you have a status conference hearing on April 7th at 8:30, and you have a cash-only bond in the amount of $500. And in the third matter, you have a non-witness hearing on April 7th at 8:30 with a cash-only bond in the amount of $500. And I think on the first one, it was supposed to be cash. I have to fix the first one. It's supposed to be cash only. So you have a total bond in the amount of $1,500 cash only. If you are able to post bond, it is important that you appear. It's ready. It is important that you appear for all of your court dates. If you fail to appear, any bond that you post would be forfeited. A warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. So that takes care of everything that I have to advise you about. If you have no questions for me, if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Case number 2021, code 849-4001. Just says
I know, I just fixed it.
Okay.
She's walking it over to you now.
There's 2. No.
So did they both say?
Give the one back?
I thought that the remaining 2 said cash.
Yeah, the other 2 said cash, this one did.
Okay.
That's all, just making sure you caught it.
Yeah, I did, thank you.
There you go.
Mr. Stallings, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Ruiz Espinosa, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Andrew Stallings, April 12th, 1990.
You are here today because you have a violation of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 4th at 8:30. That warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. If you post bond and you fail to appear for your court date, any bond that you post would be forfeited. A warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. That takes care of everything that I have to advise you of. If you have any questions for me, if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Ruiz Espinosa, if you'll please come to the courtroom, and Mr. Arredondo, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth for me?
Donovan Edward Reese Espinosa, September 6th, 1995.
You are here today because you have a warrant out of Tolleson Municipal Court. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have an arraignment hearing on April 7th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond. Well, the warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. Oh, shoot. I have to fix this order too. I am so sorry. My apologies. Okay, it's ready now. Sorry. So if you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, any bond that you post would be forfeited. A warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be ordered. So that takes care of everything that I have to advise you of. If you have no questions for me, if you will hold on for one moment, the officer will bring you your paperwork with the,
Do you think I could be OR this one time? Because I wasn't sure of the court date or whatever happened.
So I went and looked at the reason why I imposed a bond, is I saw that you have multiple warrants that were out, and you're being held on those. And so to make sure that you get transported to all of your court dates, I imposed a bond.
Okay. Will I be able to be at court? So I have to stay in jail till April 7th?
Unless you post bond on all of your cases.
Okay. All right. Thank you. How much is this to get out for all cases?
I don't remember. I just went and checked because I did see that you had recent IAs. I didn't make a note, but I know that you have bond in those cases.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Redondo, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Roberts, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Christopher Redondo, 1242.
Thank you. You are here today because you have 3 violations of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in all 3 matters. You have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 4th at 8:30. On 2 of your matters, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250, and on the 3rd, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. So between your 3 cases, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. If you are able to post bond, it is important that you appear for your court dates. If you fail to appear, any bond that you post would be forfeited. Another warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond would likely be imposed.
Okay.
So that takes care of everything that I have to advise you of. If you have no questions for me,
No. How do you pay secure bonds?
I'm sorry?
How do you pay secure bonds?
You don't use the bonds, we have lists in the process.
Okay.
Okay, the officer has your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Roberts, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Cartucci, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
General Roberts, 4170.
You are here on 2 matters. You have 1 new case, and then you have a violation of probation. I'm going to first talk to you about your new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a narcotic drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to both counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you in both matters. You do have a status conference hearing on April 3rd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 7th at 8:30. On this matter, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. Then, as to your violation of probation, I did appoint an attorney to represent you in that matter as well. You have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 4th at 8:30, and that warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. So between your 2 cases, you have a total secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. If you fail to appear for your court dates, any bond that you post would be forfeited. Another warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. So that takes care of everything that I have to advise you of. If you have no questions for me, if you will step to the left, thank you. Mr. Cartucci, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Peoples, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir.
Hi.
Will you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Iago Cortucci, January 27, 2000.
You were here on 2 matters. You have 1 new case, and then you have a violation of probation. And talk to you first about the new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. I did not find probable cause as to the possession of drug paraphernalia, but I did find probable cause as to the possession of dangerous drugs. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on April 3rd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 7th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500 on this matter. And then as to your violation of probation, I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 4th at 8:30, and you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. So between your two cases, you have a total secured appearance bond in the amount of $750. You do have to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Make sure you attend your court dates. If you fail to do so, any bond that you posted would be forfeited, a warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed.
All right.
Okay, so that takes care of everything that I have to
Thank you.
advise you of. Mr. Peoples, will you please come into the courtroom? And Raul Garcia, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Please state your first and last name and your date of birth.
Terrence Peoples, 10/17/86.
You are here today because you have a warrant out of Arcadia Biltmore Justice Court. Did you change the attorney?
I did not know.
Okay, I need to fix this. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have an arraignment hearing on April 1st at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. I did go and look at your other cases, so I know what's going on with you, so that's why I imposed a bond to make sure that you get transported if you could before everything else happened.
Okay.
Okay? So that's pretty much everything that I have to advise you of. I'm correcting your order if you want to. If you have no questions for me, if you...
Okay, so the $250, do I pay the $250 to get out and finish the other part of it,
Well,
or?
it looks like, so I just set a $250 bond because it looked like you had a matter earlier this month and where your probation was revocated, and it looks like you have a sentence coming up.
Well, I got a sentence, but they ran it all concurrent, so I'm like waiting on a release, but this is what was holding me up for them to actually.
So because I didn't have any, all I could see, when I do the best that I can, you know what I mean? And so that's all I saw was that there was a sentence, that probation was revoked and there was a sentence, but I didn't see like any release or what have you, so I didn't know where you were going.
Okay.
So that's why I imposed a bond, so that if you were going to be going to prison and you were waiting for that you would still get transported for this hearing so you could take care of this matter.
Okay.
If this is the only thing that's holding you up, then you would pay the secured appearance of $250.
Your Honor, do you want to go over
Well, it's not, I don't think that it's a shield issue. He was seen on a probation violation, and it looked like it said that he was sentenced. The probation was revoked, and that it has a prison order, an order of imprisonment, and that hit the docket on March 28th. And there's nothing else like as far as release within that. It just says what your presumptive term is, and then what your pre-sentence credits are. So I don't know how everything else works with that. So just having that information, I'm just trying to make sure that whatever is going on with you, that you are able to take care of your justice court matter as well.
Okay, just one last. So if I pay this, it'll I'll
If
get
you're still
transported.
being held on your probation, so even if you pay your justice court, if you pay that bond,
Yeah.
and you're being held on, and you're going to go to prison, then you won't get transported for your justice court matter. And if you go to prison, then this warrant is not taken care of. So that warrant will still be held out there.
All right.
So does that make sense now?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does.
So that's basically where we're at
Okay,
today.
all right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and does he have the corrected order now? Okay. All right, I am so sorry. Okay, so you can go ahead and go in. Mr. Garcia, will you please come into the courtroom? And Ms. Ravelas, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Raul Garcia, 7/18/1984.
Hello. You are here today on a new case. You were charged with one count of burglary in the third degree, class 4 felony. The date of the alleged offense is October 5th of 2024. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a status conference hearing on April 14th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 16th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you to pretrial services because I am aware that you're on felony release on another matter with the secured appearance bond and you haven't failed to appear to any of those matters. So that's the only reason why I was not inclined to order a bond in this one.
Thank you, ma'am.
So you do have to promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am, I promise.
You also,
I won't mess that up. I'm on bond already for $10,000.
I know that.
My mother needs me at home to take care of my
Hold
father.
on.
All right. I'm sorry.
Because I'm already releasing you, and I just told you I know what's going on with your other
All right.
case. So you do have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims. If you fail to appear for your court date, a warrant will be, or comply with your release conditions, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Ravelas, if you'll please come into the courtroom. And Mr. Livingston, will you please have a seat in the chair? Hello, ma'am. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Copina Ravelas, March 5th, 1980.
You were here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of assault with intent to injure, a class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a status conference hearing on April 14th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 16th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you to pretrial services with electronic monitoring and some other release conditions that we'll go over in a moment. I do need you to promise to appear for your court date.
Absolutely.
You have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim or victims. You cannot possess any weapons. If there are orders of protection or orders against harassment that have been issued, you must comply with those orders. You cannot reside at the same location as the alleged victim, even if you are the owner or renter of the residence. You are permitted 1 standby with local law enforcement to assist you in retrieving your essential belongings. Failure to comply with the no victim contact order in this case could result in you getting charged with aggravated harassment, which is a class 6 felony. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date will result in a warrant being issued for your arrest and a bond being imposed. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay, so if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your
So I
paperwork.
can be released today?
You are being released today
Thank
for
you.
pretrial services. Mr. Livingston, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Lynn, will you please have a seat in the chair? Hello,
Good
sir. Can you
afternoon.
please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
July 29, 1996.
Your first and last name?
Trent Livingston.
You were here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of assault, a class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of disorderly conduct involving fighting, a class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have an arraignment hearing on April 15th at 2 o'clock. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but you do have to promise to appear for that court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yeah, I was gonna say I have work today, so I'm gonna get released.
If you promise to appear for your
Oh,
court
yes,
date?
I promise.
Okay, and then you have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims. You cannot possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment that are issued, you must comply with those orders. You cannot reside at the same location as the alleged victim, even if you are the owner or renter of the residence. You are permitted 1 civil standby with local law enforcement to assist you in collecting your essential belongings. If you fail to comply with the no victim contact order in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a class 6 felony. Failure to comply with these release conditions or to appear for your court date will result in a warrant getting issued for your arrest and a bond being imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you'll step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Lynn, will you please come into the courtroom?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Hello, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
David Paul Lynn, 12/25/1975.
Thank you. You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of unlawful flight from law enforcement, a class 5 felony. I did find probable causes to that offense, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on April 14th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 16th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you to pretrial services. You do have to promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
If you fail to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates, if you fail to appear, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and a bond would likely be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your
Okay, so
Honor.
if you will step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Mr. Hunter, will you please come into the courtroom?
Your Honor, you need the courtroom too.
Not for this one, but for number 33.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Hello, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yeah, Hunter Scott, 7/10/99.
You are here today because you are a fugitive of justice. You have a warrant for your arrest out of Colorado. As a fugitive of justice, you do have the right to have an extradition hearing. You do have the right to hire your own attorney. One would not be appointed to you because this is not criminal in nature, but it is civil, and you would be entitled to bond. Also, an extradition process requires the governor of Arizona and the governor of Colorado to sign a warrant for extradition. That process can take between 60 and 90 days. You do have the right to waive an extradition hearing. If you choose to do that, you would not be eligible for bond. Colorado would have 30 days from tomorrow to come and pick you up, but that's only if you don't have any local charges pending. If you have any local charges pending, the 30 days would not start until those local matters were resolved. Did you have an opportunity to read that plastic?
No, I did not, Your Honor, but I would like to stay here in Arizona.
Well, we don't, it's extradition. We don't get to say you stay here. Colorado says they want you extradited, so this is that process.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a moment to read the paperwork so that you understand what your rights are and what the process is. Everybody else?
No, I was asking you on this about.
Well, I would need the other people cleared one.
Your Honor, so the first option that Arizona and Colorado governor have to sign,
Yes.
I would like to do that one.
So I will advise you that you would have an initial hearing on April 7th at 1:30, and you would have a cash-only bond in the amount of $25,000.
Okay.
So you do understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then you will have your, my understanding is that you're choosing not to waive your rights. You are requesting an extradition hearing. Your initial hearing will be on April 7th at 1:30, and you have a cash-only bond in the amount of $25,000. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, any bond that you posted will be forfeited. Another warrant will be issued for your arrest, and I would also say that would probably affect your ability to get bond if you were detained on the warrant that had been reissued. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Officer? Yes. Could you pass it? Yes.
Thank you. Is that it, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Raul Garcia, John Huntington, and David. Mr. Santana, you may come into the courtroom. Thank you. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Omar Santana, August 22nd, 1994.
You are here today because you do have a violation of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 4th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $9,500. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for your court date. If you fail to do so, any bond that you post would be forfeited. Another warrant would be issued for your arrest and additional bond would be imposed. If you have no questions for me, if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Jarabel Mata, date of birth, May 18th, 1999, is here on a new case. She is not present in court today due to concerns of self-harm. She was charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony. I did find probable cause as to that offense, and I did appoint an attorney to represent her. She will have a status conference hearing on April 3rd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 7th at 8:30. She will have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $15,000. If she is able to post bond, she will be released to pretrial services with electronic monitoring and have the following release conditions. She cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. She cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. She cannot possess any weapons. She must comply with any orders of protection or orders against harassment. She cannot reside at the same location as the alleged victim, even if she is the owner or renter of the residence. She will be permitted one civil standby with local law enforcement to collect her essential belongings, and she will be advised that if she does not comply with the no victim contact order in this matter, she could be charged with aggravated harassment, a Class 6 felony. She will further be advised that if she fails to comply with her release conditions or appear for her court dates, any bond that she posted would be forfeited, a warrant would be issued for her arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. If any additions or corrections are needed after I talk to Ms. Mata, I will do so either on the record or in writing. Cynthia Bain, date of birth July 5th, 1991, is here on 2 violations of probation. She's unable to participate in court today due to bizarre behavior. I did appoint an attorney to represent her in this matter. She will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 4th at 8:30. She has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250 per case, so her total secured appearance bond is $500. She will be advised that if she posts bond and she fails to appear for her court date, then any bond posted would be forfeited, a warrant would be issued for her arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. If any corrections or changes or corrections are needed after speaking with Ms. Bean, I will do so either on the record or in writing. Mr. Sims, date of birth, Kevin Sims, date of birth, February 12th, 1985, is here on a warrant out of Towson Municipal Court, Goodyear Municipal Court, and another one from Goodyear Municipal Court. He's unable to participate in court due to combative behavior. I did appoint an attorney to represent him on all 3 matters. On the matter out of Towson, he will have an arraignment hearing on April 7th at 8:30, and he has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. In the 2 matters from Goodyear, he will have an arraignment hearing on April 2nd at 8:30, and he has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250 per warrant. So between all 3 cases, he has a total secured appearance bond in the amount of $750. He will be advised that if he fails to comply with the release conditions or appear for his court dates, that any bond that he posted would be forfeited. Another warrant would be issued for his arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. Prince Virgilio or Virgilio, I'm not sure, date of birth, August 30th, 1996, is here on one new case and 2 violations of probation. He is unable to participate in person due to bizarre behavior. On the new case, he was charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of obstruction by refusing to give his true name, a Class 2 misdemeanor. I did find, wait, this is not right. I have to change this order. Okay, I did appoint an attorney to represent him in this matter. I did fix it. I did appoint an attorney to represent him in this matter. He will have a status conference hearing on April 3rd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 7th at 8:30. He will have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. In the probation violation matters, I appointed an attorney to represent him in those matters as well. He will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 4th at 8:30, and he has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250 per case. So he has a total secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. He will be advised that if he fails to comply with his release conditions or report to his hearings, that any bond that he posted will be forfeited, and a warrant would be issued for his arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. After I speak with him, if any changes or additions are needed, I will do so either on the record or in writing. This concludes our 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar, and we stand in recess until 5 p.m.